Welcome back to the Live Lounge, everyone, here at PF International. We are here at the Kartmasters British Kart Grand Prix. My name's McCarthy, your host. We are joined by another winner. We're going to have lots of previous Kartmasters winners coming in and out throughout the day. We are now going to go from one Honda Cadet winner to another. We were just joined by Mark Kimber, who won in 2014. 4 years down the line, Theo Micouris won the GP plate in the Honda Cadet class. Theo, thank you very much for joining us. So 4 years on from your win in Honda Cadet, where are you racing now this weekend? What class are you in?
I'm in senior road tax this weekend. Senior, obviously a bigger step up. It's definitely a lot bigger than Honda, so it's completely different. Done a few Kartmasters in between since then. Some not gone quite as well as 2018. But yeah, I think we've got a good chance this weekend in senior road tax.
And racing Mark Kimber as well. So that's quite cool. So we've got two previous Honda Cadet winners racing each other. I think we can hear the atmosphere might be getting going here in the Live Lounge. So two winners racing against each other there. So that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of winners in senior road tax. It's such a competitive grid. There's so many people in it that are really fast, and it's going to be great racing all throughout. I think it's a really good grid.
How's it going so far this weekend as well? We're recording this Saturday morning, so we had one full day of racing as we're speaking now. How's it going so far?
It's going all right. In my first two heats, I think I picked up a 6th and 11th, so had a few issues, just going into the racing, picked up a few issues we need to sort out, but I think the pace will get better anyway, and if we can sort out a few of these issues out, we'll be fine. I think we can be right at the front fighting for the win.
Well, our theme for the Live Lounge interviews is My Road to Victory. We want to talk about that weekend and what it was like to win the GP plate, because it is a long road to go and win it, even though it is only one weekend. So, Theo, let's talk a little bit about how it was to win the GP plate. Let's start with building up to the meeting. Of course, it always takes place on that first weekend of August. How's your season been going up until that point?
It hadn't been great, but I did a bit of testing with Reggie Dewey, who's racing this weekend. Did a bit of testing with him, just practicing racecraft, a few little things, learning a little bit, and it meant going into Kartmasters, I was so confident, and it felt so much easier to race everyone else because I was able to race someone who was already higher up in junior. So it made it a lot easier. It made me more confident going into the weekend. And once I started picking up the win in first heat and one in second one, it just made me more and more confident for the final.
Would you say that was a key part of the weekend, having that confidence within yourself?
Yeah, definitely. It certainly helps. Everything gets built up, walking out to the grid, everyone around for one big race, it really builds up. But when you're confident and when you've got no stress or anything like that, it makes you drive so much better and you just drive calm.
You said you had a bit of a bad season, but when you walked out onto the grid, how were you able to put that aside almost? Is it because Kartmasters is such a unique event that everything else is kind of forgotten about from the season?
Yeah, it's such a different event to anything else, and it's just starting from fresh, really. It's like just all about this one weekend, so you sort of forget everything else and just sort of think about how this weekend's going, what you can do, and just really think about the end result, at the end of the weekend, trying to go for that win.
Let's go to finals day then. So pre-final, I'm guessing you were towards the front, right? Were you on pole for the pre-final?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that went really well. So were you pole position then for the final for that 2018? How was it then going off pole position? How was the warm-up lap from memory? It must have been a nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah, a little bit. I think sort of going into it, I didn't really know what to expect, but it was quite calm. I think I got away just straight away, and it didn't really have much pressure. There wasn't actually too much battling. It was just, luckily I was able to just get away, and it made the last half of the race a lot easier, and it was just able to sort of relax as the guys behind were able to fight. Yeah,
from my memory, I mean, Honda Cadet is one that usually provides the biggest drama. We've had, Rory Hudson win out the last corner, but your race was quite boring because you just absolutely demolished the field. I mean, how did you manage to do it?
I don't really know. I mean, I think I've watched it back a few times, and I don't know how I got away. I think they might have just started fighting behind, but we had the pace all weekend. So, knowing that we had the pace, it meant I was able to just focus on trying to get away, and whatever they did behind just let me, and made it 100 times easier, and I just was able to keep going and getting further and further away.
How was it going onto that last lap? It must have been, I guess just hit all your apexes. It must have been really nerve.
Yeah, it was quite relaxed actually. I don't think it had properly sunk in until quite a bit after the race. I sort of just took the last lap normally, and just as I came across the line, it was like, wow. And then especially on like the car ride going round afterwards, all the celebrations, he was like, well, you know, I've done it.
And celebrating with your parents as well, that must have been a special feeling for
it
you.
was great. The whole thing afterwards, it was just great. It was wonderful.
And how does that sit in your career? Does that stand as one of the moments you look back on as one of the most proud moments of your career?
Definitely, yeah. It was, especially early in my career, it was probably one of the best things ever to happen in my career. It was just amazing.
Couple of questions. First of all, how was it running the GP plate for the first time? Do you remember where you did it and how it was sticking that on and going out in a practice session with the GP plate on?
I don't quite remember the first time, but I do. I still have a picture up on my wall of me running it. I think it was a Walton Mill club event. I remember running the GP plate, and I've still got that on my wall in my bedroom. So yeah, still got some good pictures and good memories from running that.
Good stuff. All right, final question. Our question of the day. We're asking this to all the drivers. So if you could go back in time and race at any Kartmasters in any class, which would it be and why?
Not sure about a year, but sort of maybe 2018 to 2020 in sort of Senior X30 when it was really competitive with people like Ben Barnacote fighting for the win. I think that would have been. I think that's when it's sort of been really good for the senior categories, and it's been some of the best racing you'll ever see. So it would have been great to race in that. Unluckily, I'm a bit too young for that.
Well, similar to Nigel Edwards, so that would be a good race, wasn't it? Theo Micouris versus Nigel Edwards versus Ben Barnacote. So there you go. We're creating a great race here. I wonder who else is going to say that. Theo, best of luck this weekend, and thank you very much for joining us in the live lounge. This has been our second interview of the day. There's plenty more coming out here at PF International.